Hello, everyone, and welcome
Hey.
to the party. We are live with another fantastic episode of Monster of the Week on Natural Disasters. We are going to continue our adventures in Area 51. But before we do that, we got some housekeeping to do. We got to pay some bills. So, thank you for tuning in and joining us with some fantastic sponsors that we'd like to talk to you about. First of all, Tabletop Loot, we're providers of dice for all of your gaming needs. Go to tabletoploot.com. Use the code WTTP Dice. Get 15% off your next purchase. We also have merch available from Maddie over at So Maddie Games and his merch shop, sonerdwear.com. If you're in need of some new cool shirts, if you want a cup, a hat, anything like that, you can go to sonerdwear.com, use the code WELCOME at checkout. You get 10% off your next purchase. So Nerdwear, it's what the nerds wear. We are also supported by Roll20, the virtual tabletop that runs straight out of your web browser. And wouldn't you dang know it, we use it every week for character sheets, for music, sound effects. You can put in your own maps, you can put in your own tokens, you can upload art assets, you can put little handouts in people's journals, you can send people secret messages, you can roll dice in it. It's awesome. Go to roll20.net/start/WTTP, hook yourself up with a free account. Finally, we are also supported by Devin Rue, the Mistress of Maps, who creates fantastic cartographical content. If that is something that you're interested in, you need to get some of that into your gaming life. You just want to put it into your eye holes and receive some good imagery. That's rueinc.com. We have a Patreon, which goes to support the channel and the people who support it. It is a way to help keep the lights on, to keep platforming diverse games and diverse players and GMs, and generally create a wonderful community for all of you. We have a page that you can go to at patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg. There's also a Discord if you want to just chat with some people, get into a community of like minded individuals. You want to talk about this game or any of the other fantastic games running this season on Welcome to the Party. There is a link down below, and there's a link in chat you can click to and come hang out. With all that being said, let us meet the cast of characters that we have assembled before us. We're gonna say who we are, where people can find you on the internet, and who you'll be playing today. Starting with Rue.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rue. You can find me on Twitter at Cherry Drop, which, oh, there it is, right here. um, and I will be playing Adia. Both of our pronouns are she, her, and I play from the Flake Playbook.
Awesome. Moving along, we got Alex.
Oh, Alex,
Oh,
you're muted.
muted.
Hi everyone, I'm muted. I'm Alex. I use he, him pronouns, and I'll be playing Virash, the monstrous playbook who uses she, her pronouns.
Fantastic. We got Viditia.
Hi, I'm Viditia. I use he, him pronouns. I will be playing Ashan, who uses the spooky playbook, and they use he, they pronouns.
Right on. We got JR.
Yeah,
Hey,
in character.
I'm JR, and I'm playing Stealth Mode Ben today, who uses the Expert Playbook. My pronouns, as well as Stealth Mode Ben's, are he, him.
Excellent. And
Amazing.
last but certainly not least, we got Kevin.
Like I said, I'm Kevin. I'm playing Mac, the Crooked Playbook. My pronouns, Kevin's pronouns are he, him. Mac's pronouns are she, her. If you want to find Kevin online, you can go to that link below and be like JR and unfollow me, because keep your feed clean, keep your feed good. Don't follow me.
This is some powerful reverse psychology.
Is it reverse psychology? No, just follow me.
Yeah, I think
For everyone's good.
Kevin, you'd be actually happy if we all said.
Awesome. And I am Simon. I am the keeper for this game. I am the GM. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. You can check out my other stuff at colorspurgames.io. I am playing the monsters. My pronouns are he, him. We had a time last episode. We went to Area 51, and everything was cool. Nothing bad happened. Um, it is gonna continue to be an exciting time. So, with that being said, to briefly recap for those of you who may be new to the game, and for those of us who have memories like a sieve, like me sometimes, uh, the team was called to Area 51 to investigate a creature of some kind, a phenomenon of some kind that even the FBI couldn't figure out. Which makes sense because they're not dealing with monsters all the time, aren't they? The same way that the PCRI is. Upon the team's arrival, they investigated a little bit. They discovered a creature that was on stasis. Um, it seems to create Zerg-like creep behind itself as it moves. It's got a lot of little friends living in its back. Actually, this is a huge thing that we should talk about.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I forgot to put that in the list too. Um, every episode we hunt monsters, and that's a great thing because there's lots of monsters to fight. Um, but we do always remind you what you're about to see. So, viewer beware, you're in for a scare. This series has a number of warnings, which are in chat right now, about violence, death, lying, deception, blood, being chased, guilt, some minor medical content, paranoia, fear. Um, this episode, we are going to be dealing with a couple of interesting things. Thank you. You caught the thing that I was going to add in the thing. Um, Body horror. This episode deals with some minor body horror. Alien parasites, creatures in heads.
Oh.
It will not happen to players. It will happen to NPCs. Be prepared. Undead or mindless creatures. Supernatural stalking and trypophobia. Do not look that up. If you don't know what it is, you will probably develop it. It means holes in places they shouldn't be. So there's there's a
Oh.
creature that we're dealing with that has eggs. It carries eggs. It carries things in its back. That probably will set people off. So I want to make sure that we all know what we're getting into before we go. With that being said, yes, this creature has eggs, and it is now escaped because one of the scientists in the facility has something to do with letting it free.
Scientist or Sean?
Well,
6 of one, half dozen the other.
Do we?
It's 50-50.
Where did this bus come from, Kevin? How am I under it?
Adia's just whistling
You know I
and
can drive
walking
anything.
away.
Awesome. Yes. So the team is in a variety of different spaces right now. They're all split up. Ben, for one, is crawling through the air vents. Ashan is in the creature's enclosure on the other side. Adia, Mac is watching over everything on the security cameras, and we're gonna open with Farash. Our cold open is like 10 minutes, 5 minutes before everything goes to hell. But before we get to that, let's do our intro, our fun little intro sequence. So where do we find everyone in the opening credits of this episode? What is our fun little like montage moment for everyone?
So I think Ben is in this montage moment in stealth mode, creeping down the vents, and then also we get like a quick shot of him looking around, talking into an analog watch, as though it were like a communicator, even though it very clearly is not.
Nice.
So for the montage, for Ashan, you see them kind of like walking up to the the containment unit where the monster was, and like connecting with it, like tuning into it and the awful feeling of it. And then it cuts to them like opening the door to the thing and like clutching onto vials of dragon blood before everything goes to shit.
Adia's sequence is it goes back a little bit before she gets to like the decontamination area, and she's been like vlogging to Snow, and it's just her like with her phone up. She's like, "Can you see me? I can't tell if you. This is where we are." And she's like, he wanted her to stream it on Twitch, but she's like, "That's not a smart idea." So, and so use the secure line.
Instagram Live. That's where you'll get the real following.
And so it's just like different shots of her, like through the vlog video of her going through the different parts where she's had it on. And then there's one part where she goes up to Ashan. She's like, "Tell Snow how you're feeling." And Ashan is totally like not not listening. And she's like, he wants to know. I told you he wouldn't tell it. They told you they wouldn't tell you right now. And then it cuts to a spot where she's trying to open the doors of some of the other containment units, and then you just see like a split screen of Mac like hacking it, closing them, and then her opening it, and then her closing it and opening it.
Oh my god.
And she's like, "Mac, stop it. I want to see."
I think Mac's like sort of segment is like it's all the other segments, but then like in out of focus in the background, we see like all these security cameras like turning and following each of the other people
Oh my God,
in
I
their
love
shots,
that.
and then it cuts to like this big bank of monitors in a dark room, like super brightly glowing, and we see like Mac's silhouette, and then we see Mac like watching in horror, just like as Sean goes to confront this thing in the containment unit. It's like, why? Just totally yelling without abandon at Sean through this monitor. And then we probably like see one of the monitors of what Varash's little scene is next, and zoom in on that.
Yeah, nice. It's a little flashback from hers, which is when we got into Area 51 and we were going through like the scanners to get in, and she reaches back and pulls her like giant two-handed Ganondorf sword out of her inventory and like thumps it down like next to the metal detector, and then it's like going through the X-ray machine, and the tech is looking at it like, and she just like hands him a card with the logo of our shady quasi-governmental organization on it, and he's like, "Oh." And then there's as we're coming down and landing in our helicopter, I don't remember if this is how it happened, but this is how she remembers it. The FBI agent played by, is it Gina Carano?
Yeah.
Is coming up, and like the helicopter wind is like making her hair like blow in slow motion, and there's like little roses around the edges of the frame, like it's a Nutella.
God.
Yes.
Awesome.
God, we are from Duluth Mining Company. Here's my sword.
That's correct.
Ugh.
For mines.
Okay. With that said, we need our "Everything is Fine" music.
Right
Where
now.
is it? Come on. Bring me back into that lounge. Take me to my happy place. Give me Airport Lounge by Kevin MacLeod.
We open on the cafeteria of this facility. Everything about Area 51, as we've said, is like retro, future, like 80s, 90s level tech at tops, brutalist architecture. So imagine, if you will, a large cafeteria that is just like all concrete, very practical lines. Like, I think those metal cafeteria benches that have the scoop benches attached with the table in the middle. but like spray painted orange, just like safety orange.
Nice.
Um, and Varash and Agent Torres are sitting opposite each other with these like bright blue plastic trays
Yes.
um, with like some sort of food slurry on the plate. Craft services did not have time to make anything good for this shot. So it's just like there's something in there. There's a vegetable, probably. That maybe there's a
Yeah.
meat in there.
Yeah, there's like steam rising off it.
Right.
Nice. Well, if we want to for our date, I copied and pasted the conversation over food options from Dragon Hearts into our Discord.
I do like this. We're gonna give you all a little preview of a game called Dragon Hearts, which you should all check out because Alex wrote it and it's fucking good. You get to be dragons that are flirting and angry at each other.
Yes.
um, so I think Agent Torres. So for reference, Agent Torres is yes, played by Gina Carano this episode. Um, so uh, white shirt, rolled up sleeves, black tie, badge around her neck that has her little picture on it and everything. Um, the shoulder suspenders with like the pistol holster and everything. Um, and I think she is feeling boastful and expansive.
Nice.
Ask a personal question or favor.
Cool.
So she's like kind of picking at her food, not really like eating. She's sort of like leaning with one hand, looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Varash, was it right?
Yeah.
You're a big lady. You must have seen your fair share of action, especially working with PCRI. I mean, they must put you up against all kinds of nasty things. I got to
Oh,
tell
for
you,
sure.
there was a couple times where I wasn't really sure if I was going to make it out alive, but we don't see as much fun stuff as you do out in the travel business. But well, there was at least a few times that big old creature. I think we actually sent a few agents your way. Actually, it was a chupacabra horde pushing in
Oh.
through the desert. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen those. What those look like up close.
I haven't. No, tell me more.
Oh, they're like big dogs, like really nasty big dogs, big
Mm.
teeth. They look like real lean, kind of dusty gray skin, uh, but they pack a punch. There was one that dove right at me, and well, I had to break the girls out, and she flexes her arms.
Yes. Amazing. I say yes. That seems like they would be more than capable.
Yeah, she's she's still got a few of the scars. She leans in. She's like, but that was just they're like big dogs. I'm sure you fought something bigger that leaves a bigger scar somewhere.
Yes. I love that this is already where I was planning on going, and you're like, just lead right down that path. This is perfect. Yeah. So I say, well, there was the time that we got into a bit of a tussle with. You heard of the Krampus? She really hits the accent on it. Uh,
Isn't that the guy that hates Santa Claus?
Yeah, sort of like a child stealing goat monster. So anyway, there I was, right? I've got a lumberjack axe in one hand. I've got my sword in the other hand, obviously. And we are just going at it, right? This guy takes a big old bite out of me, and then I realize like, oh, I'm in my human disguise, so she won't actually be able to see my real scars that I have, and I'm like, huh. You know, since we're sharing stories with each other and everything, there is something about me, and I sort of lean in conspiratorially. I've actually got a little bit of a secret that
Oh,
I might be interested in sharing with you, but you'll have to do your part in keeping this just between us. And I'd like to potentially roll a manipulate someone,
Yeah.
because I am offering to share my secret with her, but in return, she has to keep it to herself. So I'll roll
Hit me with that charm.
with charm. Good luck, me. Oh God, I rolled a 5. That was 2 1s plus 3. Oh,
Wow.
of all the luck.
You have luck. You have luck.
I do have luck. I mean, if you're not going to spend your luck on this, what else are you going to spend on, right?
Oh
Okay.
my
Right,
god.
right, please.
If I'm not spending my only mechanical benefit on a flirting roll, like what else am I doing in this game? Okay.
Oh my god.
So I'll spend my luck. That means my monster side gains power, my curse may
Ooh.
become stronger, or another disadvantage may manifest. So that's fun.
So
Oh.
your curse is like pride.
Yes, it is.
I think like she's she'll listen, right? She's like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
I'll deal with it. But I think like the heat of the moment uh is agitating your pride because you're like, I want to win this relationship.
Yeah, nice. So I think I'm gonna show off my guns. So I pull up my sleeve on my little human arm, but I say, now, if you'd like, you can feel right here, and just I'd like you to, as much as possible, try to keep your reaction minimal. But I'm
So
inviting her to like reach out and touch my scales that she can't see.
she's gonna reach out, and I have a follow up here. I noticed something unusual about you. What? But here's my proposal.
Mm-hmm.
Your glamour charm necklace changes the way people perceive you, right?
Right.
But it doesn't change your appearance.
Yeah.
So I wonder if she reaches out to touch you and she feels your scales.
Yeah, that's definitely what I want to have happen.
Yeah. So she reaches out and she's like, "Oh yeah, you got real big oh, you're a little cold. Do we should we try and turn the AC down?
Adorable.
What is that?"
And I say, oh, keep going. And I like gesture for her to like I lift my hand up so that she can like go all the way down to it.
And she's like, she starts reaching back in and she's like, "Well, if we're going to continue this conversation, we might want to find somewhere a little more private for it."
Nice. Uh well. I unfortunately, I don't know my way around here very well, but I'd be happy to defer to your expertise, agent.
Uh, she gets up and like bosses the tray
Wouldn't want to
and
wander
comes
into some
back.
sort of alien holding pen like a total idiot.
Right? Total rookie move.
Oh
I
my
actually
God, who
used to
would do
work with a guy
that?
like that. You just up and walked into a containment cell just without any reading the files on the creature ahead of time, and well,
I super read files. I'm great at it. Just constantly. We get a little flashback to Rue like showing Virash like an Area 51 like conspiracy website, and we just be, oh, aliens. I had no idea.
and she like finishes bossing the everything, and then gets back to you, um, and like comes from behind and puts her hand on your shoulder. She goes, "Yeah, I also really like to go over the files. Why don't you come back to my office and I'll show you some of my research?"
Nice. Yeah, that sounds very informative.
And so she like starts to lead you out of the cafeteria, and as you do, red sirens start blaring, and like all the doors start slamming shut around the rooms, and a voice comes over the speaker. Contamination breach detected. Contamination breach detected. She looks around. And, come on!
Every time.
Ugh.
And you don't hear it. Ignore it. It's mood lighting. That's what
It is mood lighting. Those klaxons are,
Certain mood.
you know, like Kenny G saxophones, really.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you think they're just like wow, wow, but it's like
Some intern changed it.
Yeah. The FBI spent $2,000 on this whole project.
Good. Good allocation of resources.
Mhm.
So let's go to Mac for a second, because you have
Yeah.
the eye on the sky, as it were.
Yeah.
You can see sort of everything that's happening. As you're watching, you see this big creature vault its way up into the vents, leaving a trail of fleshy slime behind it, and crawls around into the vents. Over the next couple of minutes, let's say like 15 minutes, it crawls a lot, and it will occasionally like drop out of a vent. Content warning for a lot of the stuff we just talked about. Flex its back, and like the things that are in it come out. For reminders, they look like squids mixed with tarantulas.
Oh, right. Thanks for the reminder.
Sorry. They drop out, and they just like start scrambling around the room, and you can see that as they're moving, they're like horking up something, and they're like weaving goop along the ground.
Okay.
They move pretty fast. Once the creature like pops out a bunch of them, it climbs back up into the vents and starts moving to the next area. As you're watching on the cameras too, you see one room where a few guards see the little creatures drop down, and they like pull their guns, they pop off a couple shots, they get like one or two of them, and then one of them dives up and gets onto this guy's head and just goes to town on having
Yeah.
a meal.
Yeah. Good
It's bad.
times. Good times.
How does Mac respond to all this?
Abject horror. Monsters are one thing. Aliens are another.
It's true. It's
We all
just
gotta
not
draw a
something that
line
you're,
somewhere.
you're familiar with.
Yeah, like, is this like, is this sci-fi base? Is this like a sci-fi base where like there are, what do they call them? Like like locks on like any blast doors or anything like that?
Yeah, oh totally. There's blast doors and stuff you can manipulate.
Yeah, every time I see this thing pop out, I try to cordon off those areas. I don't care if like some of the people that work here or that are some military folks that I don't know are in there, but like as long as my people are safe, that's all that matters.
Yeah, you're trying to like funnel it towards every. Yeah. Okay.
And making sure like that like it's contained to like that there's no access to like getting to the sides where my people are. Damn the rest.
I think you're protecting someone, but the someone is your team.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and hit me with a tough roll,
Tough. Okay.
which is not entirely how this move works, but we're making it. The fiction flows.
Ooh.
That's 7.
Okay. You protect them okay, but you'll suffer some or all of the harm they were going to get. So I think what that
funnel it
means-
towards myself.
Yeah, I think that's what it means. Is like, oh well, as you close things down, it has to go towards Mac. So this thing is moving that way. The breeder itself is moving towards you. Some of these rooms are now like completely compromised, but the big scary thing is coming Mac's way. We'll deal with that in a second. Up in the vents, Ben is crawling away with a hard drive. Is Ben doing anything in particular while sneaking, or just sneaking?
Yes, I need to find a place where I can discover the source of these glaxons. Something's obviously loose in the facility, and I got to take care of it. I'm
Okay.
proceeding down the alpha vent shaft, headed towards what I believe is alien containment to see if I can get an idea of what's been unleashed upon this secret facility.
I forgot that you were talking into a watch.
Yeah.
That is not a smart watch.
It's the Casio calculator watch.
Oh my god. Ben totally has a calculator watch.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely does.
Yeah.
It is not a smartwatch though. But yeah, I'm trying to see if I can figure out where. I guess I think I'm in a bad situation, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
read it.
That sounds exactly like what you're doing. So
It's a
when you hit
little
that sharp
bad.
roll.
So let's read this bad situation, baby.
Okay.
All right, I got an 8. Let's see. I am pulling up the list of questions. What I would like to know is, are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Yes. So while you're climbing around, you see something moving out of the corner of your eye, and the kicker here is like, I don't think you have a light or anything. You're just like crawling around.
Yeah.
So it's these dimly lit vents, and something moves, like skitters past you, and you know that you are not alone in these vents anymore.
I think. Ooh, I think that is going to. Yes, I think that's going to change my plan a little bit. I think Ben kind of dials up the brightness on his Casio watch as much as it goes.
The little light.
Yeah,
Oh my
that little
gosh.
blue light holds it up in front of him and kind of proceeds onward. And I assume, didn't bring in like all of our weapons and stuff, right, with us into Area 51.
I
Oh,
mean,
and
I
we
think
said
you
you
We
do.
did, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because they invited us here and they know.
You got a flamethrower license.
That's true, I do.
Oh my god, wait, Ben's got a flamethrower. I forgot about that.
Yes, we're saved.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a minute. I think
We brought the loader.
I think I'm gonna try and see if I can spot whatever this thing is, because I know I'm not alone. So I want to see if I can maybe get the drop on what's around here.
Like try and ambush it.
Yeah.
I think that's acting under pressure.
All right. So Ben consults the pocket guide, pocket field agent's guide. So you're trapped in a vent and need to ambush something. I've read about this sort of thing.
Oh my god.
Well, bam, 10.
There you go.
Oh hell yeah.
You move in such a way that you avoid detection, right? Or what does that look like for Ben?
I mean, it is 100% a dodge roll, like an unnecessary dodge roll. But
Inside
like
the vent.
inside the vent, it's like there's a little bit of a crawl, and then like when it gets to one of those areas where it like opens up because there's like another duct connecting to it, it's like a dodge roll that wasn't necessary, but as a result, like the thing skitters past just after he rolled out of the way, that kind of a thing.
Yeah. Excellent. So you managed to get your way around. Um, you realize the the end of the vent that you were crawling in um, has this like soft, fleshy surface to it.
Mm.
It's kind of slippery.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
something has moved. A lot of things actually, because you can see like little shadows moving ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
But you see in your little dim light a cluster of these creatures, the little drones
Mm-hmm.
um, that have not noticed you. But as they're walking around, it looks like they're leaving this trail of slime behind them.
Can I check and see if I can get an idea of what these creatures do, what their MO is?
Yeah, I think as you're taking stock of the situation, you can investigate that mystery.
Let's investigate this mystery.
What we're here for.
Haha, another 10.
All right, you got two hold.
Ben actually doing his job.
All right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but we already know what can hurt it, yes?
You know some things that can hurt it. Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't like sound.
Doesn't like sound and it doesn't like fire.
Yep.
Um,
Oh yeah, symbiote rules.
And if it's an alien, it's probably safe to assume that Varash also hurts it
Right.
a lot more.
And glasses of water.
So
left
I'm gonna
unattended
ask-
around your house.
what is being concealed here?
Mm. Okay.
Fear.
As you continue to look down, so how are you investigating? You're just like taking swabs of things, or just like
Yeah, I think
looking at it carefully?
I think Ben is like looking at stuff carefully, and as he notices, like the disgusting flesh covering is like taking out his pocket knife and kind of cutting a little bit of it off and watching what it does and that sort of thing.
Yeah. While you're looking at all this stuff, you're getting a sense that these things are being dispatched, right? They don't have a autonomous mind of their own, really. It's sort of like they're assigned a task and then they're done. Like at least a few of them, like once they finish weaving out some more flesh tunnel, just like collapse. It looks like they're just like single task creatures. They might be able to propagate themselves elsewise or not. But I think what's being concealed here
Mm-hmm.
is let's say that as you're crawling down the vent, you have there's a grate below you that you can look down, and we already have Amos is back at the containment cell where Ashan and Adya are. I think there's another scientist here who is holding a smartphone and like texting furiously, going, come on, Thatcher, pick up. Where are you? The thing's moving. This is all falling apart. I need you to get it together. We have to make this work. We have one shot.
Come on, Thatcher. Must remember to investigate this Thatcher character. And then I'm gonna ask, what can it do?
Okay. These things specifically They seem to have a spit that is acidic. Um, it takes them about 15 minutes, roughly, to swarm and transform a space, depending on the size of it. So, like this tunnel, they can just do it as they move. It's not that bad, or it is bad, but it's not hard for them. A small room that takes more like half an hour. It would see you would estimate like based on their rates of return. Um, in addition to the spit, you see a few as you're crawling, like in other little holes in the vents. There are security guards, which are no longer in control of their faculties. They have these things like mounted on the backs of their skulls.
Ah!
Ooh.
Yeah. So they can spit and they can mind slave. Yep.
Ooh.
Gross.
Do we still see the faces?
Yes, they mount.
Because you said they're on the back.
They mount on the back.
Seems these creatures are taking over the guards at this facility. They must be planning something sinister. I must secure a safe room. And I think Ben is going to try and find an exit out of the vents, or but very near one, or maybe even just like a section of the vents, and like I mean, I got a flamethrower, so I'm just gonna start keeping it clear of Zerg creep.
Okay. So you just drop down and start burning.
I think if I can get out in a in a place where I won't set myself also on fire, that is what Ben's immediate drive is: create
That's
a
a
safe
rookie
space.
mistake. Ben's no amateur.
Ben still has his eyebrows.
That's how you know.
There's like an intense security checklist for using the flamethrower, and you're like, no, I have like A grade level certification in using this.
You've done it.
Yeah, so you drop down
Mm-hmm.
and you go to unsling your flamethrower. I assume. Like,
Yes,
I don't know how big of a thing it is.
I imagine it's like, something kept in a bag that he's been kind of like carrying with him, dragging behind him or something.
Okay. So you go to pull it out. But unfortunately, you don't see the drone slaves that are coming around the corner. And they advance with their weapons drawn. And they don't even speak. They just sort of are like moving around slack-jawed with their eyes rolled back in their heads. And they like, when they move very like twitchy. It's like a marionette.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
Oh.
The arms come up like that.
Oh.
And then when they shoot, like they don't handle recoil well.
Mm-hmm.
But they
God.
go to fire at you.
I see. Okay, well, can I guess I don't have my flamethrower out yet then, huh?
I think you could act under pressure to pull it out in time.
Is there anything closer, like, I don't know, I mean, given what's going on, is there like a crowbar or something nearby?
Let's say that you drop into like a machine shop. It looks like a machine shop.
All right.
Yeah.
It's
All
a
right.
maintenance room.
Good.
And yeah, you can scoop up a crowbar immediately.
Ben scoops up his trusty crowbar.
Oh my god.
and goes to town.
Yes.
All right, let's roll to kick some ass.
All right.
Holy crap.
I'm good at this. Maybe.
I gotta be honest, I forgot that you had a crowbar.
Hey, I am good
It's
at
on
this.
his screen. What are you talking about?
It's been on screen this whole time.
Jared, you gotta line it up with your
Jesus.
background.
Yeah, you
Look
gotta.
at these die rolls.
I will do that. That is a 10.
All right, so you're inflicting
Yes.
harm on each other. what extra effects do you want?
I think I am going to force them where I want them.
Okay. So what does it look like as you trade harm with these guys?
What does it look like? Like this. A lot of this. As Ben kind of like tries very carefully to hit the creatures on their heads. But where he can't, he just kind of will like attack the guards as well, because the as it says in the book, the safety of the agent must come first. That way you can render aid to others. And I think they kind of like rush in with either twitching puppet-like arms, catching Ben on occasion, but I think he gets the better of them, and I would like to force them out of this little machine shop.
Okay. How much harm does your crowbar do?
I'm gonna guess it's a bit like a lead pipe or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's 2
Okay.
harm hand.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So you drive these guys back, smacking them, and going for the head is absolutely the play here, because like the cranial damage really rattles around whatever these things are interacting with.
Mm-hmm.
If you're worried about the morality, like as one of them, I think you just knock the creature clean off of it. The process of taking over the host seems to just completely remove all autonomy from the body. So the body just collapses like it's a toy that's just been thrown to the side. Like those the Christmas toys where you know what I'm talking about, where you push the button and the legs go weak. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
The little wooden dolls. It's bad. Yeah, that's what they do. It's not cool. But driving them back helps.
They're not getting back up.
You do trade blows with them, though. So take 2 harm.
Excellent.
As a couple of the shots squeeze off before you can get close enough to hit them.
I will take.
But they are thrown out of the room, so like you could chase after them. You could slam the door shut.
I think Ben will slam the door shut. Yes. I think I'm gonna slam the door shut and establish a secure perimeter.
Right.
By which I mean shooting my flamethrower up into the flesh vent above me.
Yeah. Okay. So the fire burns, and you hear like a high-pitched, like hissing shriek as the flame ratchets its way into the vents. Across the facility, the sprinklers go off in the containment room. The alarms have stopped, but the red lights are still flashing. So in the room where the creature was, Adia is now getting soaked. Ashan is not, because Ashan is in the little glass containment room.
Yeah.
What are both of you doing?
Oh god.
Can
I feel
we
like
see each other now?
Yes, I think now that this creature is burst through the glass and gone up into the vent, Ashan is standing in like a hazmat suit in the middle of this
Yeah.
cage
that's
room.
right. Okay.
And then on the other side of the room by the entrance is Amos, the scientist who was mind linked with it apparently, who is like up on the server bank, like the computers, like hiding from the little drones that are skittering around. And Adia was like hiding in the somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like behind another computer, right?
Yeah. Well, then I went into the containment area afterwards. So I
Oh
would
yeah,
be,
okay.
I'm probably like outside of the containment room, but on the other side.
And then, was there an immediate threat? Like, did it leave behind stuff?
It dropped a few drones underneath itself.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're like still skittering around. There wasn't enough time for you guys to respond before
No,
we
yeah.
I think cut the end of the session.
Mhm.
So there's a bunch of them like skittering around on the ground, and like they realize there is food here. So they
Ugh.
turn and they start chasing after you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I think Adia is like frantically trying to reach for those little explosive packets, but they're like inside her hazmat thing. So she's like, I think she just starts taking the hazmat suit off because she's like, this is just everything is open anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So she's just like ripping it off, and then so I think she's like manages to get the top of it off, kind of like a scuba diving gear thing, and then the rest of it is just trailing off of her. Sorry about that. Background noise. Cars driving by. And then she pulls out the explosives, and she doesn't have time to like do the cool like baseball thing, so she just takes it, walks into the door, and like smacks it on the side of the door frame, both sides, because they activate on impact. So she just like slams them as hard as she can, and then tosses both in towards them, and is like, Ashan, run from those! They'll explode! Run towards me! Because she's trying to throw them away from her.
Yeah, I think Ashan's gonna try and get out there, but is going to run towards Amos.
Okay.
Okay.
That works too!
Rue, why don't you act under pressure for Adia?
Okay.
And you're Ashan is running like to get over to where the other guy is. Why don't you? I think you're also acting under pressure because these things are like chasing after you.
That makes a lot of sense. That's cool, right?
Ooh,
Yes, it is.
by the skin of my teeth.
Ooh, yes.
Very cool. What did I roll? Okay, all right.
Okay. Both of you are having a hard time.
Ooh.
For Adia, I think you do it, but I think you get caught in a bit of the blast because you're like stumbling around with this hazmat suit.
Oh no.
I think either you take some harm, or you get thrown in such a way that's like really stunning, like you're close to the blast, so your hearing's all goofed up for a little bit.
Ooh.
I don't know what you think is more interesting.
I think the latter is more interesting. That yeah, she gets like thrown back.
So you're like knocked back, and you hear this horrible ringing in your ears as like the explosion goes out, real close. For Ashan, you like get up and like climb onto the desk, where Amos is like hiding and like trying to look around for something he can grab to like jab back at these things. He's like throwing a coffee mug and throwing pencils at them. I think as you get up onto the desk, and like, what are you trying to do when you get there? Are you like trying to interrogate him, or?
Yeah. I want to. So there's a thing I want to do, but I want to know like if there's something immediate after I get onto the desk.
I think when you get onto the desk, you realize that something is climbing up your suit leg.
Ooh.
It got onto you as you were running.
Ugh.
Okay.
This is why we carry swords.
This is why we can. This is why I have a sword for this very moment. Okay, can I do a cool thing that maybe does two things at once?
Yeah.
I want to. So what I wanted to do was create a ring of fire around us.
Ooh.
But can I still do that? But like light the thing on fire, and then like create a ring of fire around us.
Yeah, I think you're doing two. It's two moves, right? The first thing is like if you're gonna burn it, that's kicking some ass because you're fighting it as it's trying to get onto you. And then creating a ring around a fire, that's using magic.
Yeah.
To protect you guys. So why don't you kick ass first?
All right. It's tough. Whatever there. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So you're gonna trade harm. And what extra effect do you want to take for it?
I think I'm gonna suffer less harm.
Okay, seems
Yeah.
good. It you like throw your fire onto it. What does it look like as you burn it?
Well, I guess like I'd like pull out my sword, and then like the action of pulling out the broken sword is like sparks fly.
Oh, nice.
I guess I'm kind of thinking like maybe like Roy Mustang like, where like sparks
Yeah.
travel down and then it ignites.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that burns the thing away as it goes flying backwards. It's been like trying to bore into your suit.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel on your leg like a stinging sensation as it's been like dripping its caustic saliva onto your leg.
Okay.
You take 1 harm. It would be 2 normally, but you've reduced it, so it's 1 harm as the goop bores through part of your containment suit.
Okay.
But it goes searing off you and flying, and then you create the ring of fire with your sword, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's using magic.
Let me roll weird for that. Okay, I'm good at that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. So the magic works without issues. Choose your effect.
I guess I'm trying to create a barrier or it's,
Trap a specific person.
Yes. I guess it's Amos. Or like I'm trying to keep things from cutting to us and then also like making sure that Amos can't run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bar a place or portal to a specific person or type of creature. Actually,
I guess that would be a little better.
it's less like he can't leave and more they can't get in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the flame rises up, and these things immediately scatter backwards. The like handful of little things that survive the blast and your flame jab, just like skitter all the way back against the walls and like get as far away as they can.
Okay.
And they start like scrambling up the walls and like looking for. You see, they're looking for ways out of the room.
Right.
They're really not happy.
I'm just gonna like grab Amos by the collar. I think this is the most aggressive Ashan's like kind of ever been. Is like gonna grab Amos by the collar and like have
So proud.
is like have their sword, have their like broken sword. Isn't like like not gonna like threaten them and like put it against their neck or anything like that. I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah.
But is like is gonna be like, what the hell was that? I heard your voice. I heard you command it.
What? You can hear me? I don't know what you're talking about. I mean,
don't play dumb with me, all right? And then I like tap my head. I was like, I was in there too, and I know I can be in there. I don't know why you were able to be.
he is quaking, and I think Adia can like as you're getting up to your feet, you can hear like this conversation feels like it's 1,000 miles away because you're still like reeling, so you can hear like the vibrations of the conversation. He's like, I can't talk to. We have to get out of here. If you help me get out, I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you anything you want to know.
I'm gonna be like, oh, we're safe here, right here, the two of us. You're gonna tell me what you know before we take a step off of this platform. And I guess I'm manipulating. So
Yeah, that sounds right.
Charming.
That's not that charming. All right, let's go.
Oh,
Hey,
All right,
thanks,
okay,
twelve-sided
some
guy.
bits.
Thanks for the bits.
Thanks
Oh.
for rerolls.
For 100 bits, somebody gets a reroll.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh.
It's like a free point of kind of like luck.
Yeah.
8. They'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it. If you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do it.
Okay.
He's willing.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to get hurt here. Look, I fine. I will explain. You just have to. You have to get me out of here, okay? There's a safe room, 3 corridors down. If we can get there, I'll explain everything. You need me, and I need you.
I'm gonna like turn over. I still have him by the collar. I'm gonna like see where Adia is, and I guess like so, just for my sake of like
Yeah.
space, and then be like, all right, where is it? How far away is it?
Okay,
We
it's-
walk and talk.
Okay. Is this fire? That's very hot fire. Okay. Can you do something about that before we? It's not. It's not far.
Okay. I'm gonna call out to Adia. I'm gonna be like, Adia, can you get over here? Are you okay?
I feel like Adia's also like really super disoriented too, so she's just been like trying to find like a wall. Like I think she's been calling Ashan, but then her sound is all like off. So at times she's like super loud, and then at times she's like really quiet, and she's just like veering off in weird directions. She's like, "Did I get them? Are they down?"
You're doing great. You're doing fine. If you can get over to me, we'll be safer.
She's like, "Okay, I'm coming towards you." She's like going like parallel to you, like you're over here, and then she's going in like not the opposite direction, but just like towards maybe the vent that JR or that Ben went to.
Okay.
I'm gonna like let go of him, but like forcefully, and then I guess I'll drop the barrier, the fire.
Yep.
But like kind of keep him at sword point now. I'm gonna be like, don't make any goddamn movements, all right?
No moving at all. No breathing.
Don't do anything you'd regret.
Don't even blink.
Yeah.
Stare
I don't
me-
want to see you breathe.
Stare me down as I walk away from you.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So you start to move your way along the corridors. In the cafeteria, the alarms are going off. I think creature like these drones have dropped from the ceiling vents in here and are now like skittering down the walls of the cafeteria. Agent Torres has her gun out and she's already popped like one or two of these things, but a few of the hapless staff that are in here are like wrestling with them as they're like crawling up and around them. What does
Oh,
Varash
no.
do?
I guess I will try to protect those people.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just dash up and try to like grab them and like throw them off the person into the wall type stuff.
Yeah.
I just took a new move called Preternatural Speed. I go much faster than normal people. When I chase, flee, or run, I take +1 ongoing. I don't know if that counts in this case, but I just thought I'd bring it up for later.
I could see it.
Okay, so I'll roll with tough +1 for protect someone. We got a 13. Didn't even need that +3.
Beautiful.
So I get the
So
extra.
on a 13, yeah. What extra are you gonna take?
Let me see. I just lost my. Is this it? Yes, protect someone. Okay. Suffer little harm. All impending dangers are focused on you. You inflict harm on the enemy. You hold the enemy back. I'm gonna say I inflict harm on the enemy. I think makes sense.
That makes sense.
Because I'm
And you've
picking them
got-
up and just hucking them into walls.
Yeah. So not only do you keep these people safe, but you're thinning the numbers. What does that look
Yeah.
like for Varash? This is like a cool action shot.
Yeah, I think it's very like, there's one of the monsters that's like rearing up, right towards the back of somebody's head, and then we see her claw just comes in and like sinks claws into it, and just like the thing screeches, and then she just flicks her wrist and sends it flying, and it does that action movie thing where it goes like screer as it goes down the wall.
Yeah,
Incredible.
nice.
Nice.
Just splats. She's like, pop, pop. She sees you do that. Whoa, nice toss, sweet cheeks. All right, might be hope for us yet.
Still got it.
Yeah, nice. And I stand up and sort of like crack my back and say, "Oh, you have not seen anything yet."
Let's not pretend like this isn't the perfect date for like both of them.
I know.
Just took the right turn. Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Yeah, you've gotten most of these scientists are like cowering under the tables. She's like, we have to get these people out of here. They're not going to survive another 5 minutes down here. We're sitting ducks. We got to get to the surface. She runs over to the doors and starts like trying the keypad that's on the door. System's completely overridden. Can you do anything about this?
What's the door look like?
It's a big, heavy steel blast door that slams over the sliding doors. So it would
Yeah.
go like chunk, chunk, and now
Nice.
it's chunk with the yellow and black chevrons.
I guess it's up to you whether it falls under my my preternatural strength ability, but I could try lifting it up, like just do a real like She-Ra like type thing.
I mean, yeah, that's it feels
That
like the
seems
right
like
fictional thing to do.
pushing my body past its physical limits.
Hell yeah.
I'm so glad I
Yeah.
took that move. Roll plus weird, and we got an 11. So my body obeys my will to the limits of physical possibility. I don't take any consequences.
Okay, perfect. So what does that look like as you like just rip it up?
I think I say like, all right, everybody, get over here, and they're all like, what the hell? And I just like jam my hands under the door. We can see like the claws first like poke out through the other side, and then she just like heaves, and her like back muscles are straining, her wings are flexing, and then she just like slowly like heaves it up, and then just like slams it up into the ceiling.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
perfect.
There's like a clonk as it seals up there.
Chunk. And she like you. We have that shot of you with your dragon form, rippling, and I think she's like, "All right, I need everyone over here right now. Let's move, move. Pattern J, let's move." And as she's like the last one out, she looks back at you like, You're right. There's a lot more going on in those than you're letting on."
And I say, don't worry, I'm sure you can keep up.
Oh,
I plan to. She starts running down the hallway. In the security room,
Yeah.
Mac has seen all of this happen. Like, your team is alive, thank God.
Yeah.
But
Max tried
Ben's
to
burning
Max tried to
everything
do
down.
like some FTL, like opening and closing doors, making sure the enemies get corralled,
oh
making
yeah.
pathways for friends.
Yeah, I think we realized like half of what's happening as people in the like background shots of like Ashan and Adia and Amos are like, oh, the 3As. It's a triple A title here.
Yeah.
As you're walking down the halls, like things open, things close for you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, neat.
Like probably one of them like wants to go down one way, and then the door closes on them, but another one opens because like they don't know
Yeah.
there's danger beyond that.
Sean is 100% just all like, this is cosmic weird magic. It's fine, I understand. Like,
It's just God.
Adia keeps
Obvious.
like walking into the doors that are closing, and she's like, "Oh, I thought I opened," and she's like trying to hack through it, but they're probably just like doing the same thing that Mac is doing because she can't tell what she's pressing because she's still like pretty dizzy, so she's just like hitting things that aren't even true. Like her flashlight is on all of a sudden, and she's like randomly taking pictures. That's not the sound the hacking thing makes.
Perfect. The Mac is taking a look at these computer screens, and you've lost sight of the creature.
Of course, yeah.
So, I think what happens is there's a clang from above you, and you feel something cold and wet on your shoulder.
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah. Let's just start doing the Mac special. Fire some slugs up into the vents.
Yeah, doesn't even look at it, just like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
The good news is you know where it is now.
Yeah.
Just some Nickelodeon slime the whole time.
How much harm does your shotgun do? 3?
Pretty hard, messy.
Messy. Okay. Yeah, you're ambushing it here.
Oh my
So you get the shot off. The buckshot. What does that look like?
I'm just in chat. So, Triple College just said, "Man, just shot Ben."
Oh my god.
Barbecue sauce.
Snaps in the chat.
Mac, like, Mac probably like spins this chair around and just like leans all the way back to like it
Oh,
creaks, just
God.
aiming the shotgun like straight up and at the ceiling and just like lets off every shot she can.
That's good.
Nice.
The blast goes straight up. Inky, like, blood goes splattering everywhere because this is a messy weapon. And it gets hit. You see something like recoil backwards. There is silence for like a solid 10 seconds.
Make sure to like kick, pushing with the wheels across the room so that more of this stuff doesn't fall. More of this like blood. or
slide back.
ichors falls on me.
I think as you like go for the pump to like just chamber the next round, the thing throws itself like forward through the hole,
Oh my god.
and we see it again. It's this big, like 2 wolves wide creature
I forgot about that descriptor.
with like lumps on its back that carry the little
Oh my
creatures
God.
inside of it, and like tendrils kind of wisping along it,
Amazing.
like big oversized cilia on its spine. It doesn't have a mouth, but it has like a frog-like bulbous protrusion.
Oh god.
And as it jams its head forward into the room, that like protrusion fills with gas, and this horrible shriek just like erupts in your mind.
Oh god.
All of the cameras like go to static for a few seconds. A glass, like a coffee mug, explodes as it screams. You feel just like your ears full of this piercing pain. It definitely causes you at least a harm.
Yeah,
I think to do anything but like sit there racked in pain is acting under pressure.
Yeah, I think Mac is probably going to look for like, some like emergency fire extinguishing button, or like on the console or on the wall, and just like
Ooh.
fire at that, hoping it like shoots off like not sprinklers but like fire suppressant like foam.
Oh damn!
Oh
Yeah.
Alright.
Love that phone.
Act under pressure to do that.
Classic. Shoot at it and it works.
Exactly.
Shooting at it counts as pressing at it and pressing on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just like punching jukeboxes.
Yeah.
The Fonzie method.
It's the Star Wars door. You know, you shoot at it, it does what you want.
Yeah, it opens, it closes, it locks, it unlocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. 10.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yes. You do it.
Nice.
We're doing
So what does that look like? Is it like exactly as you described? As you reach over and like slam on the fire button?
Yeah, like with the offhand, like still aiming the shotgun up as like the next slug is chambered, just like slamming on this big red button that says like only press in case of like fire emergencies, and like we just get all this like fog and foam falling everywhere. So it's like we get the whole screen is obscured. Like maybe Mac gets like some stealth or whatever from this thing. Not that it
Oh
matters.
yeah, you can use that to
AoE.
like roll away and take
Yeah.
cover.
Ah, that's so
It stops
cool.
screaming. It screams itself, but like not in the same way. It flails, like the rubber suit like arms coming through the smoke at the camera. As it goes, like it in the smoke, you can see this sort of as the silhouette is moving. It looks like it pops its limbs like closer.
Ooh.
It thins itself,
Ooh.
and it slithers back into the vent.
So from two wolves to one wolf.
So it looks like it has some kind of slightly modular physiology. Yeah, there's two
Okay,
wolves inside of you. Now there's only one.
It went from being
Two wolves to one snake.
two wolves
Wolves are
wide
in
to-
single
to two
file to
wolves
hide their
long.
number.
Yeah,
Two wolves long, yeah, okay. It keeps its metric.
Yeah.
It's less a
It's a
less a mind howl and more of a as
Yeah.
it goes away.
it's a 2D wolf. It's flat. So when you when you shift perspective.
Yes.
But it slithers backwards into the vent, and you can hear it like thump, 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 skittering away, and leaving you with like a little trail of blood coming out of your ear
Yeah.
in this like steamy, blasted room. The cameras have gone back on,
Uh-huh.
thankfully.
Yeah,
Uh,
Mac's gonna roll back over and continue to be lady in the chair for the group, like making and trying to corral them first together and then get them to the surface to the helicopter pad.
Excellent. So I think you're able to funnel Varash, Torres, and a handful of the scientists towards Ben.
Yeah.
So you see them like link up as Ben's like coming around a corner with the flamethrower. Like, they have the moment of fear.
Yeah. Like it's like we have that moment where we both round a corner, and I have I have my broken sword at like at Ben, and Ben has a flamethrower at me.
Yeah, the team more or less coalesces as you're in the one of the infirmaries, which is where the safe room is, quote unquote, that Amos leads you to. So he slams the door. He punches in a code. The door seals behind them, and he looks at everyone and says, "Well, I guess I owe you an explanation."
You're damn
Yes?
right you
Who's
do.
this guy? I met him. I just don't remember.
I like turn to face mostly for Russian Ben and be like, I heard him. I heard him inside of the monster's voice. This is his fault.
I think Adia, who's like finally recovered, is like, oh, cool. I mean, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad, and you should feel bad.
Yeah.
Ben kind of gestures with the crow ichor soaked slime covered crowbar at him. Tell us what you know about Thatcher.
That's me.
No,
I'm
good.
Amos Thatcher.
What are you trying to make work?
The thing that's trying to kill us all now. Wasn't supposed to be like this. You've been here. I know that you suits. You know a little bit about what's happening. Yeah, I think you like
Does
that.
no one
physics.
react to Stealth Ben?
Wait,
That's
hold
my big question.
I think I had a small communication error. What did Amos say?
Said it wasn't supposed to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, "Use suits," and he gestures to all of you, the team.
Mhm.
I know you've met some of my associates before. I was just supposed to be helping the messenger.
The messenger.
Well, I guess. I don't know. Gardener? We didn't really come up with a name for it. It's
Okay.
a Delta class entity at least.
But you know of more of them. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's more. They send these first. Clear the path for everyone else. If we don't do something about it, it's gonna get a lot worse. It's already making this its home. Once it gets out there, if it gets its hands on an ore, that's when the reinforcements come.
There was ore here too. I remember seeing it. They wouldn't let me eat it.
That's probably where it's headed now. But if home is where the heart is, then all we have to do is cut out the heart.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I think, yeah, like, Sean's fine. Like, gonna, like, is gonna, like, just be like, hey, hey,
I'm
Ben,
no
what's
one of
up?
consequence.
I feel like Adrian like knows it's Ben, but it's just like I don't know. Ben's doing this now, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
just let him work it out.
But like
I feel
she,
like we all, like, this isn't a good disguise,
Yeah.
right? Like, we all know
It's
it's
not a
Ben.
very good disguise at all, but it might fool somebody.
Sure. Sorry, Rude.
It's as good as Batman's disguise, let's be fair. That works pretty well.
Ben just puts on extra glasses. So I think I'm gonna go up to Amos and just like shove him up against the wall real hard. Not in the sexy anime way.
Yeah.
Rats.
Violent anime way.
Yes. Where he bounces off it a little bit.
No smooches.
And say, listen, you're interrupting something very important that I need to get to. You need to tell us what we need to know, and I don't care what it is.
What do you need to know?
Guys, what do we need to know? I really want to hurt this guy more, but I don't actually know the questions.
I'm gonna, like, turn to Ben and be like, Ben, you said that we have some holes in our knowledge, right?
Yes. Tell us everything you can about this creature. What's its weak to?
Well,
How do we
Fire,
kill it
obviously.
once and for all?
you can kind of bounce back its sonic emission.
How are you supposed to control it?
In a way, I kind of have a backup plan.
Go on.
She can. He gestures to Varash.
Ooh. Cool. Control it? I don't even like
Well.
that thing.
Control in the sense of put it down if you need to.
What do you know about me? I'm leaning in all close to him. He can feel my hot dragony breath. But again, not in the good way.
Not sexy.
I know that you're not exactly. You're not that strong just because you work out.
I don't even need to work out. Just
I know.
happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do, though, I say to Agent Torres.
It sounds like this guy knows way too much. Like, he knows so much. Like, and then I like gesture to Agent Taurus. I'm like, you don't know anything about us. You weren't aware of this.
No, I mean they don't even give you my give me your files.
And that's because we're in DQ country.
Dairy Queen?
I like point my sword at him. I'm like, are you a part of the goddamn DQ cult? The D cult?
The DQ.
I heard about that.
Oh shit. What's the name of the what's the name of the guy, the librarian?
Oh, Connor Taggart.
Taggart. Or are you in with, what was his name? And I like turn over to Adya, like, the librarian Taggart,
Mhm.
something like that. Are you in with him?
Yeah. We're coworkers. At least until you put him in the dirt.
What are you getting out of this? Why do you want aliens to make the Earth all gooby?
And this is where the camera gets the dramatic wide shot that we know signals a commercial break. He hangs his head and he looks back up at you. Control. We get control. When they take over, we're the ones they let live. That's our legacy. We bring them home. We let them take the world that was once theirs. And then, when it's all over, we live. That's what it means to inherit the earth.
Oh my god.
And that's where we cut to commercial.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna take a break. Thank you for sticking with us so far. Don't go anywhere, because in about 5 to 10 minutes we'll be back with some more Monster of the Week action. But before we go to our break, we do want to give some special shout outs to people that do a lot of financial assistance to keep the shows going. In our VIP circle, we have a number of fantastic people, including Donald G, Nerdy T, Michelle E, Abigator, Anino, and Andy T. Your donations are extremely generous, and they help us keep the lights on and keep us running fantastic shows like these. If you want to support more great actual play role-playing content out there on the internet, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg. Throw us some cash so we can keep giving you some fantastic entertainment. And also, while we're over at break, why don't you go over to roll20.net/start/WTTP, sign up for a free account, and start noodling around and see if it's something that works for you and your gaming group. With that said, we will be back momentarily.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you get a second during break, you should check out one of our amazing sponsors. We're now proudly sponsored by Roll20, the best virtual tabletop for all your role-playing needs. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games. And with more modules than you can shake a stick at on their new revamped storefront, you'll definitely find something for your group to enjoy. Sign up today by clicking the link below or heading to roll20.net/start/WTTP. Tabletop Loot is an amazing place to get your dice bags, dice boxes, and more. And now you can get 15% off your purchase at tabletoploot.com by using the code WTTPDICE at checkout. Tabletop Loot. Your party starts here. While you're at it, check out our so awesome merch store, So Nerdware. So Nerdware is the place to find all your Welcome to the Party merch and other amazing stuff too. Head on over to sonerdware.com and use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. So Nerdware. It's what the nerds wear. Devin Rue, the amazing mistress of maps, has kindly supported the channel since the beginning and provides graphics for many of our streams. Head on over to rueinc.com to check out some of the best fantasy cartography on the web. Our Patreon supports the creators and producers of the channel by providing Roll20 subscriptions, cost coverage for video hosting, and more. If you want to support the channel while getting podcasts a week early, gaming articles that are published on Patreon first, a shout out during our break, and more, head on over to patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg and throw us a buck or $5. And last, but certainly not least, help out the party. Subs and bits not only support the stream, But also, every 500 bits or a Tier 1 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a reroll or system equivalent. And every 1000 bits or Tier 2 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a crit or system equivalent. Thanks again for hanging out with us today. The game will be back in just a few minutes.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a fantastic break and you got some water, stretch your legs, and shook off the scaries because we're back in it, suckers. um, we return with some revelations. Um, the team is having a very productive interrogation with Amos Thatcher, a scientist who seems to have some idea of what's going on with the big picture in this whole situation. Um, when before we went to break, he said, "This is what it's like, what it means to inherit the Earth." Uh, what do you do?
That's an extremely cool line.
um,
Off with his head.
I'm kind of curious what Varush does,
Yeah, that's fair.
because you got him all pinned up, and
Right, I do have that.
or the
Uh,
impulsive one.
Wow,
So I-
way to shift the responsibility here.
Gotta pass that buck.
I think what I would do is just lean into him and say, "You think this was their planet? This planet is mine."
Oh.
Ooh!
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Oh, I love it.
He, I think, is terrified of you,
And
but
rightly
wants
so.
to fight back in the way that like every mousy '80s action movie villain does.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like at least 2 character actors, but I can't think of their names that are like this. So he's like that, pulled back extremely far from you, as much as he can, but you're like in his face. He is with a quiver in his voice. He's like, "Yeah, it's your planet now, but you're only renting it until they come back."
I've seen these things before. They're not that impressive.
You
I'm
would say
probably
that.
lying, but I think I can pull it off.
You would say that. You did beat them once.
Ooh.
Listen, Amos, you seem like a coward. And
Thank
I
you.
know that cowards like to back the winning side. You might want to consider whose teeth are right next to your neck right now. Can I pull that as a manipulate, maybe?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Would you like some assistance?
I'm already at a +3, so I don't think technically you can go above that. If I'm remembering the rules right. Sadly. And we got an 11.
They'll do it for the reason you gave them. If you ask too much, they'll tell you the minimum it would take for them to do it. What were you trying to get him to do?
That's a good question. What was I trying to get him to do? I think I'm trying to get him to turn coat.
Oh. He looks
At
down
least
at your team.
temporarily.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fine. All right. Listen, I don't have any control over that thing. It does whatever it wants. It's the whole point of it. It just spreads and spreads until it's done. And then they send in more. But you're right. I can't do anything for my team if I'm dead down here. And you can't do anything for yours as long as you're down here. So we're sort of at an impasse. I'll tell you what. You take those big pearly whites just a few inches further away from my neck. And I will try and keep it at bay for as long as I can.
And what exactly would that entail? Be
This
as
one already
specific
has-
as you can.
He jabs his thumb over at Ashan. Well, this one already has it. We're playing in similar waters, at least. Look, some of us with the blood of the inheritors, our lines are given special privileges. That's what they give us. You know, when we signed on with this generations ago, they agreed to give us a portion of their power as a sign of respect and mutual benefit. That is, of course, thinned down over the years as we generations have bred, but we still have some of the basic abilities that they gave to us. I have minor links with them. I can open my mind to things.
And after all that, you choose to just roll down and surrender to them. You truly are meek.
It's
No wonder
not.
you believe you'll inherit the earth.
It's not surrender. It's playing for the winning team. Do you really think that they can stop us? All of her friends are dead. He gestures to Varash. The only threat that possibly existed is gone. You
You'll
killed
be
them all.
surprised what we can do.
And not all of her friends are dead. Some of us are right here.
Aww. That's so nice.
We get a cool shot of all of us doing a thing.
Yeah.
The team pose.
Minus Mac, of course.
And a camera shifts in the background.
Yeah. Fair enough. So he's like nodding, like agreeing to temporarily help you out. We cut back to Mac, who is watching this scene unfold and listening to it because it like the shot goes into the camera comes back out on the other side in the security room. There is a slam against the door. And then bam, bam, bam. What does Mac do?
Mac spins the chair around, very super villainous like sort of way, with the shotgun like leveled like at the door, then presses with one hand, opening the door.
Bam! Someone goes to hit the door again, and 3 of your thugs collapse into the room on top of you.
Well,
Whoa, boss! Oh my god! We almost killed you. We thought you were one of those freaks.
I thought you were security. So, same. Did you get it?
Yeah, we got the stuff.
Okay, so we need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Right, great. Good plan. How do we do that?
We are and like Meg like pulls up a map of the facility, and then she tries to explain these they seem capable but not geniuses, and like tries to explain like we're going to take this route, we're going to avoid these areas, and like tries to like basically explain like we're going to link back up with everybody else.
Yeah.
We're
I
going to
think
link
in
back up with the big
classic-
strong dragon and like the magic people and the girl with the bat and grenade.
Gotta say, boss, you got a real interesting crew. Yeah, I think in like true fashion, we have like the big tough person that doesn't say a lot, that doesn't seem to get it. The smaller, like kind of squirrely, sassy one who's doing all the talking, and like the middle ground, like wild card, that's like quiet but will pop. Like go too hard when pressed.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking at the map. Like, okay, yeah, it makes sense.
Right, so lead the way.
All right, you lead the way. It goes up the chain.
Yeah.
You heard her. Move. Slaps the big guy on the back. Right. Starts slowly plodding forward.
And I imagine like we see some of like the scientists and things like begging for help, and like then like doors just cut off on them. We're like, we don't give a shit. No, fuck them.
Oh yeah, it's very.
We're
that
going
one
for
episode of The
our crew.
Mandalorian
Yeah, exactly.
on the
Oh,
prison
yeah.
ship. Where like there's scientists, like you walk by a room and you see like somebody like slamming a silhouette in the door, like please, and then splat. And then
gosh.
like another room where like a security guard is backing up against the wall, like I'll get you, you son of a bitch. Bang, bang. And then reinforcement. Whoosh, something jumps in his face. He goes flying out of frame. And then like the last thing we see before you close the doors and move into the next zone is just a room that is completely covered in the flesh. It's like undulating a little bit. It's pulsing,
Ooh.
and like things that little more of the little spider squids are like moving around along it.
Undulating is
Mindlessly.
such a specific word.
Do we see the security that gave me a hard time getting to security last time?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then the door closes behind you as you continue to move along your path. Back in the infirmary, what is everyone doing?
I think I wanna say to the guy, well, if you can link with this thing, you need to move it somewhere that we have an advantage. We can kill it. Is there like a big space laser, a room with a rock really high up on the ceiling? Whatever.
We don't have any Rube Goldberg rooms down here, but
Do you have a wind tunnel?
yeah, we have a testing site.
We
It's-
were there.
What are you
Okay.
thinking, Ben?
We can use its weaknesses against it. We'll isolate it from its flesh creep.
Offspring?
But a wind tunnel has incredible acoustics.
Oh.
We can use its weakness to sonic frequencies against it.
All right.
That'll give us enough
Bananas
time.
enough, it might work.
And where's the ore? We have to definitely keep it away from that. And then I also like jab a finger at him and keep it out of your hands too.
Agent Torres is like, oh yeah, that's in Green Wing. That's 2 levels up and over. It's
I'll
gonna be
go-
hell to get there right now.
not
Oh,
through the vents.
it'll be a lot worse than hell if we don't get it.
I can try and get to the ore if you prep the wind tunnel site.
Okay.
And how do we know that it's not just gonna make a beeline? I mean, this guy says it's drawn to that stuff, right? So it's probably heading there right now. We gotta cut it off.
Then you'd better link up with it
Ooh.
as best as you can.
Can I? Can I roll tune in? Because I actually
Oh, yeah.
have a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tune in, baby.
Or can I get help with it from the guy? Who
I
can
think he
also
would
tune
give
in?
you, yeah. If the two of you work together, then take a +1.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna like grab him from the collar again, and I'm gonna like headbutt him.
Yeah.
And then as you collide into the
Yeah.
into
Oh
the
my
mine.
gosh.
So proud of you.
So
Wow,
good.
that's so
Hell
fucking
yeah.
cool.
You
That's
bring
so
honor
good.
to our family.
There we go. I didn't even need it.
That's a
Okay,
good roll.
cool. So, I get 3 hold, and I'm gonna spend 2 of them right away.
Yep.
Where's the creature right now, and how can I attract its attention?
Okay, it is wounded and sort of like licking its wounds briefly before moving from this floor up to Green Wing. The way that Torres describes the layout, it's like you're on this floor. There's a couple there's usually like a service elevator that goes straight up above you. It is in the vents going up. So like
Okay.
from containment going around and then up.
Okay.
So it's like it's on its ascent now.
Yeah.
And what was the second question?
How can I attract its attention?
I think partially by reaching into its mind, you have already like you've piqued its attention because it's like, oh hey, something's down here.
Yeah.
It does not like it has an intelligence, but very very minimal. If you think about like Modrons, sometimes like right they have only a conception of certain higher level functions. you're getting the sense that like this thing has very base functions, like breed, eat, hunt. That's
Okay. Yeah.
it. If you can
Are-
appeal to its base needs, like, hey, there's something you can eat down here.
Okay. It it's one of these creatures that finds me very tasty, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm still like holding on to Amos. And I'm gonna turn to Ben and I'm gonna be like, all right. I'll be on Wind Tunnel team. I think I can attract it. It's already moving there. And then I'm gonna look Amos in the eyes and go, we're gonna scream in its head and let them know exactly where we are. Okay?
Whoa, are you sure? I mean, it's gonna make a beeline right for us. That thing moves like a nobody's business. Have you seen how like it can change its form?
Well, it's already moving its way to the ore. So we have to get it away from there as fast as possible.
I think Ben turns and looks at the camera. Perhaps Matt can help make sure that it gets hampered on the way.
Like look up to the camera. It's like
Camera's just like stagnant, one angle.
I think I can do that too. She's already, I feel like, in the background, like
Oh yeah,
opening
just
and
like
that's
typing
closing
away.
right.
Nice.
Never mind. Ardea, maybe you can make sure that it's slowed down.
Yeah, I've already closed off all the main routes to the ore, so even if it's trying to get there, it's not gonna find it easy.
okay.
Okay. If this is what you think is the right idea, then sure.
I I think Ashar kind of like shudders, or like the tough demeanor starts to break, and they turn and look at Varash.
Yeah.
Like,
And I just like drop my hand on your shoulder. So proud of you right now.
I let go of Amos and I give like a deep, like a breath, and I'm like put my hand on your hand and I go, all right, we have to fight this thing.
Hell yeah. And I
Torres
give a
is
look
looking
over
back and
to
forth with the
yeah.
two of you.
I give a look over to Torres and say, "Hey, you want to come? This is gonna be fun."
For you.
Ah. Yes. All right.
Okay. So I think you've got the plan. Torres goes to like open the door, and like get people moving. Like, okay, I'm gonna get the rest of these. We'll try and get these guys to safety. Slides the door open, and we look out in the hallway, and we see Mac and Mac's crew
I love it.
riding down the hallway
Perfect.
in a little cart.
A little car. Max driving this fucking car.
a little golf cart.
These are some wide hallways.
Yeah,
You got fun.
cart is only 2 wolves thick.
This is the best TV.
Can't have like a secret government facility without some golf carts to get around.
It's true.
Wired.
I've watched Stranger Things.
Yeah, Mac just like screeches up and like, where are we going? Where we getting out? Going in? What? Get on.
Get in, losers. We're going monster hunting.
Oh, that's it exactly.
God, oh, that's good.
On Wednesdays, the clearance level is pink.
Oh my fucking god.
Amazing.
Yeah, so as Adia hacking into the system to redirect the creature,
Yeah, and I think she's also like trying to, because I would guess the vents don't have like locking mechanisms necessarily, so she's trying to change the atmosphere of them so that there are temperatures that it wouldn't want to go into, so she can like stop it
Yeah.
from funneling in to all
Crank
the other
up the
spaces.
heat.
Yes, and she's like peaking up the sound in certain places so that it's like being stopped everywhere it goes.
Hell
Whatever.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that under the purview of Hacker with a Dragon Tattoo?
I
Does
think
the move let you like
so.
specifically do it, or is
Let
it
me
just about
see.
getting information?
Let me double check.
Because if it's not, I'll say you just do it.
It's quite a move name.
That is a good move name.
I love it. Yeah.
Really good.
It just says when you hack into a computer system, but it doesn't say like what kind or what
Yeah.
you can do with it.
It doesn't say on the outcomes. It doesn't specify like.
No, the only outcomes it has is just choosing the things, which is like leave no traces, learn something important, can leave misinformation in place, and then gain access to somewhere you want to get into.
Okay, so I think that's usually intended for information gathering. Why don't you roll it anyway, just
Okay.
to, because that way you have a way of layering in some extra information.
Cool. Oh, yeah, I got it.
What's this folder?
Okay.
Very spicy.
Ooh.
You guys need advanced moves like yesterday for the bonus effects when you roll 12 plus.
Right?
Oh, we're doing it.
That's
Jesus.
true.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
We should
it's one
get
of the
all this
advanced
stuff.
things you can take.
Honestly,
Yeah, all y'all that roll good. Take those moves.
yeah.
I need more moves that like let me crit on a 7.
That's called luck. Okay, so what do you get on that? On a 14?
I can choose 2, so 2 of that list. There's leave no traces, learn something important, can leave misinformation in place, and then gain access to somewhere I want to get in. I mean, gain access to somewhere makes sense. I'm thinking about the other ones.
Leaving a trace isn't as important
Yeah,
right now.
it's pretty obvious we're all here.
Right.
I guess can leave misinformation in place is kind of adjacent to what she's trying to do, or she's trying to like mess with settings and like.
Yeah, that makes sense because you're like not only leaving junk code behind, but also having like confusing activations of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I say you can divert it where you need it to go, and you have access. I think you bring back the elevator to Green Wing. Like you're able to bypass the emergency override that keeps it from running.
Ooh.
Nice.
So what do you all do with that?
Well, who's
Green team.
green team? Who's bait team?
Ben is definitely green team because
Okay.
he can show up to help bait team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the power of narrative convenience.
Ah,
Why would you
Yeah.
not take that move?
I
so
such
know.
a good,
It's the
such a
best.
good one. I feel like Adya would go with the bait team just because she's still like, this thing is really cool though, and I want to check it out. Even though she's like not a fighter or anything.
I mean, Ben
Still
is
blow it up.
equipped for a solo mission.
Can I do
right
audio a
now.
favor? And give her advice not to come with bait team?
Oh, there we go.
Because Mac
Playing
will
this
legitimately
game.
be like, no, like I have seen this thing firsthand. Only people necessary need to be bait.
Yeah,
I
and
trust you, but
I feel like that's great because I feel like Adya's already been kind of like, Mac keeps getting in my way today with like the hacking doors and everything. Counter hacking. She's like, I'm the hacker. I'm the one who read the book. um,
Mac didn't need to hack it. She just went in there.
Yeah, I know. It's
She
even
didn't have
more.
to read anything. She just talked to a dude and made him go away.
It's even more like offensive to Adia. She's
She's
like,
a social engineer.
Yeah.
you didn't even learn it. You just pressed buttons that were already set up for you.
Oh my god.
Adia's salty. I've seen it too, and I don't know.
Pinky is Sean, salty Adia.
We're growing.
We're learning emotions. Mac, I've seen it too. I know how to handle myself. So I'll be going with the bait team, thank you. And she just like pushes you with her like bat, like out of the way.
Wow.
Oh,
Roll
yeah.
to take a powerful blow.
Adia dies.
I know. If it was anybody else, it'd just be a hole in the chest.
Well, then I guess I'll be securing the ore.
I bet all the minions are like, wait, what? That's not gonna hit this girl. What the fuck?
Yeah. Take that?
Sean's gonna be like, Ben, be careful, okay?
I will.
Do not put that ore.
No.
No matter how
Careful.
much you want to.
Don't eat it.
Don't worry. Careful is my metaphorical middle name. My actual middle name is Lucas. And then Ben like parkours up into the vents.
Oh my god.
Agent Torres watches him go.
And
then
the
looks back at
the
everyone.
elevator.
No, seriously, who is that guy?
Honestly. And I just kind of like look at everybody else and go,
Lucas.
He's the nerd of the team. He's really by the book.
Uh-huh.
He's the nerd. Yeah.
I love that. His name is Ben, and he's by the books. Like, it's cool. Like,
Yeah, you know,
Oh
over
my
there in the
God.
library.
Buy the book.
Buy the books. Let's okay, so we have bait team and ore team. Let's do ore team first, because I feel like it's gonna set up the bait team.
Yeah.
So who's going up to the green wing to secure the ore? Is it just you?
I think it's just me.
just Ben.
Okay, so let's see what Ben does, because you can then bamf back into the rest of the scene. With
Yeah.
everyone else. It's awesome.
I mean, Stealth Ben has been pretty fucking on point so
Yeah.
They're
Parkouring
fucking
everywhere.
Sneaking mission.
Yeah, you're climbing through the vents. These are tight, but like Ben seems to be really good in these. Perhaps we know we're learning something about Ben's ability to like climb around in tight spaces or something.
I think so.
Ben just whispers, "Oh, all those years of gymnastics is finally coming." Yeah.
Just a casual spelunker for sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
There it is.
But yeah, you climb up and you get to. We said that the last episode that the ore is like this meteorite or something that was pulled out of the ground where they found this creature. To that end, it is actually. Did I describe this on camera before? I feel like I did.
don't.
That it's
A little bit.
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
let's
Yeah, if I don't remember.
let's reuse that footage.
We all
yeah.
remember.
Let's go back then,
but
right?
For the
Let's-
viewers.
Well, I wonder if we could just remember this pink border, sparkle focus, star wipe, flashback mode. No, where we are is I think Ben like comes out of the grate and into the room. So it's a lab. Oh, right, because I said it looked like the egg room from Jurassic Park.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's like
right.
a big, massive pedestal in the middle of the room that has this huge rock on it. That's like dark. It seems to absorb light and reflect it at equal times as you walk around it. It has a bad vibe. It feels worse to Varash. It feels a little bad to Ashan. Everyone else just kind of feels like, eh. this is not cool. Did I
like
eat
this
something?
rock.
Was the burrito off or whatever? Like what happened? Um, but it is in the middle of the room now that there is the flesh walls are starting to come down around this room.
Mm-hmm.
Because a few of the drones have started to work their way. The creature is being lured away, but a few drones have gotten up here.
Right.
It seems the rock seems to be like humming with a faint energy.
Hmm.
What do you do?
I think at first Ben tries just using the flamethrower to burn away the drones and sort of the flesh creep. But if that doesn't seem to be enough to drive them off, I have a backup plan.
Fire is definitely enough. They're small. They can't do a lot for themselves, so the fire like gets them to scramble, and once it gets on the creep, it like starts to burn and shrivel. It's bad. Somewhere in the vents below, you hear that horrible, echoing psychic shriek as well, as does the bait team. So like we cut to over briefly to you guys in the wind tunnel, or like walking down the halls to the wind tunnel, or driving in there in the little carts.
Everybody's piled on the
Piled on the carts.
You're going much slower than we should be.
And there's the like faint like noise as it like echoes through the vents somewhere. So it's clearly being injured by proxy. What do you do as this thing falls, as the like creatures fall off the walls?
I would like to run over a bunch.
Yeah, a bunch of the little critters drop off the vents and stuff, and you crunch over them as you drive down.
Okay.
And you keep cruising. Back in the lab, Ben's in a room surrounded by burning alien flesh with a rock.
Ugh.
What do you do?
Chair.
Oh, I think. How big is the rock? Okay, so too big to like. Ooh, how far down did we come?
You're pretty far deep underground.
Okay. I think what I'd like to do is get a like a dolly or a cart or something, and using the flamethrower, basically run like to the elevator shaft, which I'm sure is locked down. But if I can get there, my plan is basically, that scene in the Matrix where Neo and Trinity are in the going into the lobby of the building to rescue Morpheus. It's basically to do that kind of a thing.
Perfect.
I think Adja fixed the elevator though.
Yes. So as you get this thing onto the cart, like it's heavy, but you can get it onto a dolly. As you're pushing it, the elevator flashes on.
Oh, perfect. I think I'll be taking this sample up to the helicopter to secure it and call for a retrieval team. And I'll return to assist my team as soon as possible. I think it's about time for stealth mode to be over. It's time to go loud. And I think the very last thing I'd like to do is roll my preparedness, because what I'd like to get is what I'd like to have is a loud speaker or something that I can use to broadcast into the like into the wind tunnels, like a boombox or something cool like that.
Box.
Ooh, I'll spend a point of luck.
Oh,
Perfect.
Oh no.
Spend a point of luck for that sweet boombox that's in the helicopter.
We just brought it for the jams.
And then
I love it.
basically, I'll radio back to PCRI headquarters and tell them that we might have a situation, and then yeah.
Before you go back down there, briefly, I think that's dealing with the agency.
Yeah, it sounds like dealing with the
Do
agency.
you roll plus sharp?
Thank God it's you making that roll.
Hey!
Oh.
All right. So on a 7 to 9, things aren't so great. You might get chewed out by your superiors, or there'll be fallout. You get what you need for the job. So you're just like filling them in, right? You're
Yeah.
not requesting. And you're requesting extraction too.
Yeah. Specifically, like, hey, we're gonna fight this thing, but it might go poorly. So in case we don't make it out, we need someone to secure this ore. Otherwise, there could be I believe they're calling it a Delta class level event. I'm not sure what that means, but
We cut back to PCRA headquarters where Agent Stone is like furiously trying to like juggle a stack of papers on his desk. He's clearly like dealing with a lot of work, and he's like, oh, "Listen, we send you guys out with an upgrade in your pay grade and with new resources, and somehow you stumble into the complete lockdown of a government facility. I mean, do you have any idea how much paperwork I'm having to file right now? The president is on the line and he's demanding answers as to why he can't radio a top secret research facility and why we're having to shut down all aerospace and satellite communications in a 500-mile radius around there. I mean, this is the budget that we're blowing through on this job is insane. You had better get in there, and you had better kill that thing, or it's your head, Ben.
You've got it, sir. You can always count on me.
Hangs up. And he's played by Idris Elba, as we've established. He like hangs up and he's like, ugh, fucking Boy Scout. But you have like a super boombox in the chopper.
Nice.
Sweet. I will spend my last hold to appear where I need to be prepared and ready.
Okay.
You're taking the helicopter?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I mean, maybe. I'm
Right?
The
taking-
helicopter is 2 wolves
Take
wide.
the helicopter.
The helicopter is bigger than 2 wolves.
I think the helicopter is bigger than 2 wolves.
Hey,
but-
remember, the agency's on a budget.
We got our 2 wolves wide helicopter.
I don't even know if
Of
you
course,
can
the
get it down
boombox has
there.
the Queen mixtape in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna load up my power metal ballads mixtape that I've made,
Yeah.
and then I will spend the last point of hold to appear dramatically with the bait team.
Okay. Do you actually want to take the helicopter with you? Because we can work that in.
No, I'm fine leaving the helicopter.
Alright.
I mean, it makes sense for the wind tunnel because the wind tunnel's designed for like to be the size of hold aircraft.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. You know what? Yes, actually, I like this.
So
Yes,
here's, I
let's do
think,
it.
how this works. The bait team is in this wind tunnel, which is like, it's a big concrete tunnel. It's got reinforcements all around it. It's got like rigging and awnings and things above it. It's all really like techie tech, but janky tech. It looks a little like 2001: A Space Odyssey. The bait team has arrived, and you can see at the far end of this tunnel, it's like very dark at the far end. But you think you can see like a silhouette of a grate, or like 2 heavy doors there.
Mhm.
And there is a series of lines just painted down all the way straight, and like lights that go up along it. What was the intent here? To draw it in and then
Mhm.
like use the sound against it and trap it, right?
Yeah.
How were you? What were you doing to set up for it?
Well, we should probably have a way to trap it, right? Unless somebody else. I mean, I could magic to try and trap it because that's like a. I could maybe like big magic to set up like another one of those big barriers, and if we
Yeah.
have the time to set it up, then I could probably have a little bit of that time. Like big firewalls, I guess, right? Because I really don't like that.
Yeah, if you want to do that, I think you need rare and weird ingredients and supplies. So just tell me what it uses. I think you need everyone to help you cast it.
Ooh.
To like make a chain or something.
Yeah.
And I think you make a roll, a use magic roll. You'll do it anyway. It's just use magic will tell us sort of like what the side effects are, if anything.
Nice. Can I help with the roll?
Yeah, totally.
Sweet.
In terms of materials, I think this is where I'm gonna grab the bandolier of dragon blood.
Oh yeah.
And be like, this is a potent catalyst for a lot of magic.
Hell yeah, it is.
Maybe actually, wait. Can I propose like maybe Varash is like, oh, dragon blood is very powerful, and you're like ready to do it. I'm like, no, I got.
I'm just like, oh, you just got. Okay, you got that.
I've got a trench coat full of them.
I don't know.
Flying stranger.
It just sounds like something that Varash would like immediately.
You know that's
Oh, yeah.
extremely right.
Yeah.
And I think I turn to Torres and I say, all right, things are about to get extremely cool, and I reach up and pull my necklace off,
Hell yeah!
and I'm revealed in all my dragony glory. Stretch out, crack my back, flex my wings out with their chain tattoos.
Sick.
And I look at her and I say, that was the right reaction, and I wink.
All right, let's roll this weird.
Yeah.
And I get help.
Yes.
That's just a +1, right?
Yeah.
What did I get? Ooh.
Ooh, it barely helped.
Okay.
Oh, no.
You still did. You expose yourself to trouble or danger, though, which is
Seems right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And you do it fantastically.
Yeah. I really got to get that advanced magic.
So what does it look like as you create these fire walls?
If we're all kind of casting the spell together,
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen is I'm going to stick my sword. It's a magic sword. Wind tunnel's probably concrete, but it still slides right through it. And we all get in a big old circle around it. And I think like as Ashan's magic isn't necessarily like, or I guess it's like, it's arcane. So I don't know if we're chanting or whatever, or we're saying things, but
Just growling.
just growl. Yeah.
Just doing a dragony growl.
Probably like lines of fire or like sparks kind of shoot out from it as it like creates these walls, and then it breaks off. Like it kind of creates like I keep the second Full Metal Alchemist reference of the day, but like it creates kind of like a transmutation circle around us.
Yeah.
And then that like expands and expands until it hits kind of where we agreed to have everything boundaried, and then walls of fire shoot up.
Okay. And it's hunting you. You know it's hunting you.
Yeah.
So you can feel it getting closer in your mind. What is Mac and Mac's crew doing?
I think Mac is helping out with the ritual, but the crew is just like on Overwatch. Like they're posting up. They've got their own stuff, and like they're helping set up, getting things figured out, and watching the entryways and like calling out if they see anything, clear out any of the small little buggers that they might be able to come across that they can handle on their own.
Cool.
Making sure like the whole thing isn't interrupted.
Holding the point, right?
Yeah.
Varash still helping to cast and ready to get angry, and Adya is doing.
I think she's like in the circle too, but she's got like her phone in one hand and is like she has someone holding her wrist instead of her hand, so that she's still like quickly like using her texting skills as a young person. As a young
You've got like an
person.
app and remotely controlling stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like probably like been told by Ashan where it needs to be routed to, and so she's just like changing all the atmospheric stuff so that it's continuing to go down that path.
Nice.
Does our plan involve the wind of the wind tunnel at all?
Wind is loud.
I don't think it does, but that creates a lot of
It could.
fire. Yeah, like it
Wind plus
could.
fire equals more fire.
But we're inside the wind tunnel too.
It's magic.
What? It's Will.
Shut up, dragon person.
You guys are afraid of fire? That's weird.
So here's the danger, because this is where shit pops off.
Yeah.
It's all gonna go really fast, really quickly. You're chanting and you're casting the spell, and I think like you've like revealed yourself and everything, and Agent Taurus is there linking hands with you and casting the spell, and she looks at you, and she's like, "Most people would want to run from that, huh?" She says to Farash.
Oh, okay.
What's she referring to? Run from what?
Your appearance.
Oh yeah. And I say, well, some people run towards it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I do. And as she like leans forward, you feel cold steel pressed up against your back,
Yo.
and Amos's voice says, "Well, this is an unpleasant surprise for you, I'm sure. But I hope you understand I can't leave any loose ends. And you're the biggest one I've seen." And bang, he shoots you in the back
Nice. Awesome.
Oh my god.
for 2 harm.
I'm glad that
Oh
I'm
my God.
immortal because I only take 1 harm.
Wait, has Amos been with us the whole time, or did we just forget about him?
Yeah, he
he
was-
came
He was
with
with
you
us,
because he was
yeah,
part of the bait.
because we adopted him.
Yeah.
We adopted him. Nice. Let's see. This
He's
might
just lashing
be-
out.
I'm like, should I roll a pride for that? I feel like
I think your
getting
pride is like
betrayed-
already amped up from earlier.
Yeah. That's fair. Well, I'll definitely take the 1 harm. And I think I just like fairly slowly turn around and then like reach out and what kind of gun is it?
It's just like a one of the security guards' guns that he's like stolen away from them. So it's like a little 9mm.
Yeah, I think I reach out and put my hand on the gun and like pull it up next to my chest and I say, "You want to try that again?" Or are you
He's like terrified as he is like as you're pulling him in. Ka-chunk! One of the vents crashes from above. The creature drops upside down, flips around in midair, and lands like a cat because it shifts. It's like twisting like silly putty.
Mm-hmm.
It has like a twisty spine. And it lands and like starts popping off creatures from its back, like and it starts to like ka-dunk charge its way towards you, towards the flame. At that time, the doors in the back of the tunnel slide open, and that's when you, as you turn around, you notice like there's a sign that had said like wind tunnel, It also says launch site.
Yes.
You notice, like, this is not just a wind tunnel, it's where they send out small craft.
Oh.
Yeah.
And coming from down the hall with, like, danger zone on, like, maximum
Yes.
volume,
Yes.
echoing across the hall, is the helicopter that you all came in on, and the camera zooms in to Ben, at
Ben,
the helm.
prepared and ready at the helm.
Oh my gosh.
God.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
my
my
god.
God.
Oh my god. Amazing.
Just
Somebody
glaring,
clip that shit.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's
glaring
so
danger zone.
freaking good.
And
How
the-
hot have you felt the entire show?
Extremely.
The
It
commitment.
looked like you were really layered up. I
Oh
wasn't
my
sure.
God.
Like it's June, right?
This is incredible. Sorry. All right.
See, you could never.
That's right, they couldn't.
God.
Darn right.
Oh my god.
All right, so the helicopter pulls in.
Yeah.
A lot of things are happening at once. This guy uses Amos uses the opportunity to, like, drop the gun and is like, fuck it. And he turns around and he trips over himself and starts scrambling his way to try and get away. Max Overwatch guards are like, oh, this is what we were waiting for. Pop, 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 pop. They start shooting at this creature. Bullets are ricocheting across the concrete. The few, like, survivors that were with you are, like, huddled behind crates, shrieking in fear. The creature is barreling down on you. You see it, like, it's growing its arms a little bit longer to give it some more speed. As it vaults its way towards you, like, huffing up its little gas sack for another big scream. What is everyone doing?
I mean, I guess Ashan is the big bait, so is just a little terrified. I think at this point, it's finally his whole demeanor is kind of broken down, and he's just seeing this thing barrel towards him, and he's like, "Oh my god! Oh 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 my god!"
I'll definitely start charging towards
Yeah.
it, like I do. But that can sort of be in slow motion as other people are doing stuff.
Yeah, everything is happening in, like, bullet time.
Mhm.
Mac kind of sidesteps and like up to where Amos is running, like cuts off his path and like grabs him by like the back of the shirt collar and like spins him around, like so that he's still running in his momentum, but she like aims him back towards the group and like he starts reeling, like stumbling forward towards Adia.
Whoa!
Yes.
Whoa!
And then Adia runs up. She has one of the little explosive packets left, so she shoves it down the back of his shirt and then just hits him across the back with her bat so that it activates the explosive. And then
Is it instant?
no, there's a delay. She's with the idea that sometimes if my kick some ass rolls don't go well, that the timing is off.
I think in this case, let's have Adia start by rolling to act under pressure
Okay.
to, like, both do this and, like, dive out of the way of the blast radius.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have helping with that because I said
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Go for the help out.
Oops, where?
Let's see, help is
That's cool.
Help is cool. Cool.
Do I still have that +1 from the contrary? I don't know if it's...
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Fuck it.
Shouldn't have come here. Shouldn't have been here my ass.
I'm exactly where I need to be, baby.
She's just
Alright.
staring Mac down as she does this.
So you get the
Oh,
+1 from Mac's help.
Alright. Yeah, +2.
Mac obviously exposes herself to danger, which makes sense. You're
Yep.
very close to an explosive.
Mhm.
Ooh, just got it.
All right. Does that include the +1?
Yeah, that includes both +1s.
All right. So I think you do it, but both of you are going to be caught in the blast because it's so
Yeah.
close, and you're just like, bam, and there's a delay. I think he realizes there's a delay, and so he like realizes what's happened to him. He's got the explosive on, and he looks at both of you, and he says, "You can't stop them, you know. They'll always keep coming, and no matter what you do, just remember, you're only delaying your death." And he dives at you to catch you in the explosion. What do those do? 3 harm, 4 harm?
I had them as less because I had more than one at a time. So let's see. They were just 2 harm because I would have an inventory of 3.
Okay.
But there was only the 1.
I think in this case it does 3 harm because it's
Okay.
like intimate and explosive.
Yeah.
Would I have time to protect someone, Adia, and like take? the
Yes,
full
I
brunt
think
of
in the fiction you can
damage?
absolutely like throw yourself like on top
Yeah.
of Adia. The classic on the grenade.
Exactly. Yeah. on the grenade, on the guy. The classic.
That old chestnut.
Yeah.
The old grabbing the guy with the grenade.
More sevens. More
You
sevens.
protect them okay, but you'll suffer some or all of the harm they were going to get.
I'll take it all. Yeah.
I think you dive, and tell me if I'm wrong, but like I think you dive and shove Adia out of the way and take the
Yeah.
blast instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So Matt goes like skidding across the concrete. The camera, the way it's shot, is very unclear as to what Mac's state is like, but she takes 3 harm as she's like blasted back and lit on. Adia is fine, just a little scraped up.
She got scraped up
Nice.
from being like pushed out of the way.
Yeah. Virash, can you kick some ass as you're closing the distance with this creature?
I would love to.
And Ben, what are you doing besides like getting close and cranking up the volume?
Yeah, I'm cranking up the volume, and I am attempting. I guess I want to make sure that I keep this thing as incapacitated or disoriented as we can, and I don't know if this counts more as like a help someone else, like it might be a help Virage, or like just like an attack on the thing, or
I think this is kicking ass because you're like
Okay.
using its
Yeah.
weakness against it.
let's do it. That's a 13.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
I got an 8. So
All right, so you trade harm with each other.
And I will choose to take less harm.
Yeah, that makes
Wait a
sense.
second.
It dives and locks up with Virash. So I think like before you can hit it, it gets its claws onto you. It is 3 harm as these
Nice.
claws, like it pops out more spines chunk, 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 from its arms as it tries to like shred against you.
Yeah.
And it feels bad. Like
2 living weapons.
really nasty, right? It's like really up in your face, and then as it pins you briefly, turns back and sees Ben coming at it, and it flexes its back and fires drones from its back sacks
Oh.
onto the chopper,
Oh.
which like smash against the glass. I think you take like 1 harm as like glass shards come at you and like hit the sides of your face and cut up your suit and whatnot.
Yeah.
But you have you can choose to take an extra effect as you inflict harm on this thing.
Oh,
What are you
excellent.
taking?
Maybe I inflict terrible harm.
Yeah, so terrible harm is like you shoot until the clip is empty,
Yeah.
basically, rather than just shooting once. And the way you're attacking it is with the sound, right?
Yes.
So I think you crank the volume up to just like an unbearable volume, and like Ben has read about this sort of thing. Ben probably knows the way the acoustics work in here
Yeah.
to
Oh my
like
God, yeah.
get maximum pressure onto it.
Nice.
So it you see like the sound as like amplified. We get that TV effect of like those sound rings
Yeah.
blasting onto it. You can see its flesh like rippling as it gets hit by
Cool.
these things, it like loses its spines as it's wrestling with Virash,
Mhm.
and you hit it with your sword too, I assume.
I think I'm gonna actually bite this one.
Okay.
Since we're all in close, so I
What's
think
your
it's
bite
got
at?
me pinned. My bite is 3 damage, armor
Holy
piercing.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's strong.
Jeez.
So you like sink your teeth into it?
Yeah, I think since it has me pinned, I like flex my wings and use them to like push me up a little bit, and then like
Oh,
push over so that I'm on top of it, and I'm just like chomping down on its
Yes.
center mass.
Yes.
Nice.
That's
Oh.
the juice.
yeah, Agent Torres sees that and like, whew, as she's running over to help Anya, like, scoop her up.
There is a time and place.
Do you think love can bloom on the battlefield?
Yes.
But for
Oh my
Ben,
gosh.
I think those waves are just like rippling into it, and it clearly cannot keep its form. It starts like shifting bigger and smaller, and like fills up its gas sack again, and like shrieks one last time as like the chopper gets really close,
Uh-huh.
and it finally like screams one last time, which I think like dents one of the rotors in the chopper.
Mhm,
That's how loud it is. Before the sound cannon that you've made just like shreds it, and it goes just
Yeah.
flying across the tarmac.
Ooh.
But now you're piloting this thing that is like quickly losing altitude, like the. Boop, 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 boop,
Oh
boop.
yeah, I think Ben like flips down the little compartment, pulls out the manual, and quickly attempts to land it. Look up how to land it.
Oh my God,
Why don't
read
you
it
enter
and-
pressure with your smarts, your sharp?
I've read about this sort of thing.
And if you
Yeah.
break my brand new helicopter,
I got a 7.
kidding.
I think the price to pay is that you survive and the helicopter is destroyed.
Yeah, that's great. I think like right at the very end, you know, like it's almost landed and or it's clear it's not going to. I think Ben aims the helicopter at the remains of the monster and
Yeah.
dives free.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's cool as hell.
good.
Yes.
It's like you did it on purpose.
Ooh.
So it like
It's almost worth it.
slid across. It's like barely functional. Torres pulls Adia up to her feet, and runs over and like picks up Mac. Like, come on! And the goons run over and like, hey, no, don't you touch it! I'm trying to do CP first aid. What do you want? You want your boss to die or not? She starts ripping out bandages and helping Mac, who's like conscious, just like in pain.
Extreme pain. Yeah.
Yeah. What is Mac's response to seeing the helicopter go down?
Yeah.
There's so much going on. It's too much. I think that's something to table for after, like, her whole
Yeah.
neck is probably not exposed from like an explosion and like her skin and eating like skin grabs and shit. Probably.
What's up with the Sean?
Okay, I guess I might have an idea. So the monster, it's under wreckage.
Being crushed by a helicopter.
Okay.
It's mostly like goop at this point, but there's still like some of it is like alive and breathing and suppurating. Not separating, suppurating. It's a bad word. Don't look it
Oh,
up.
that's the word.
Oh.
It's separated.
If it's all kind of in this one area, I think I want to say, could I like fit, I guess like I might sorry, I'm just trying to think about. Yeah, I want to converge all flames into that area.
Oh, sick.
Ooh.
Yeah,
and
I
like
think you do
just
it.
super inferno, like cook it.
What does that look like? Does it like it
I
just
think-
all coalesces?
I think like Ashan like pulls the broken sword out of the ground,
Yes.
and then like points it at it, and then that's when like all flames just start like just rushing over there. Yeah.
Okay, you do that. Here's what I think happens in addition: as you're like directing the sword, we see the like the shot of the flames go in, and then wide shot of the tunnel as like everyone else is panicking. But there's Ashan like with the blade. There's like a glow from Ashan, and like in the background, like the background fades away. There's just like a fiery landscape instead, and a massive silhouette of a dragon appears, spreading its wings and roaring, and a voice echoes in Ashan's mind. Yes, embrace the glory that is your birthright.
Oh,
damn.
oh, can I take it a step further then?
Yeah, yeah.
We're in a goddamn wind tunnel. I think I want Sean's like point the thing and then like with his hand also kind of like make a sweeping motion and try and get like a bunch of wind like to create like a whole like flame,
Like a big conflagration inferno
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it
flame
swirls
vortex.
around you.
a flame. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He definitely is like, like you can kind of see, maybe even he like a smile cracks across his face, like he's having fun.
Yes.
Ooh.
And then like creates a big old flame vortex around the what was the awful word you said? The
Separating.
yeah.
Yeah, and it burns and it shrieks that horrible shriek one last time that Forley fades into gurgling. The fire smolders. It's still there, but it's not like the raging inferno that it was before. And when the flames finally settle briefly, Ashan's eyes have a flame that flickers inside of them.
Yeah. I think like he gets like just super exhausted as well.
Yeah, just like falls down.
Yeah, just falls. And like the sword kind of clatters as it hits the ground.
Yeah.
You're so happy.
That was so cool. Can I catch you before you hit the ground?
Oh
yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah. So good, and then I just gently lower you down.
Oh, is it gone?
That was the coolest thing I've ever seen, and I've lived for like hundreds of years.
Okay.
Everyone kind of finally converges on this like last little moment. It's like everyone's like in various states of physical distress and pain. Torres looks at all of you. Well, I guess that's why they call your team Unnatural Disasters, huh?
Yes. Roll credits.
Yeah, we do go to. They said the title in the show. They did the title. Before the show ends, we go back to the person that Ben saw in the vent room, way at the top of this episode, in shadows, who is standing in the freight elevator. And using a smartphone, like watching a security camera feed of what's happening in the wind tunnel. And they say, "Oh, Amos, you were such a disappointment. I'd hoped you would live up to better. And I guess the Thatcher line ends with you, doesn't it? It's just as well. You're all a bunch of worthless pissants anyway." Slams the button for the elevator starts to slide up, and they say, "Oh well, more for me." and they start whistling, and that's the last thing we hear.
Oh.
That's been Unnatural Disasters, episode 7. We're coming up on the halfway mark of this
Heck
this show, so we
yeah.
got to raise the
Yeah.
stakes. Thank you to everyone who joins us, to our wonderful regulars who join us every week. To those of you who are new to the show, I hope you stick around. I hope you go back and watch the VODs and then watch next episode. To those of you that were very chatty, that donated bits, that subbed and followed, thank you so much. If you were
Heck
just
yeah.
here and just listening in, that is also fantastic. We just love being able to provide some entertainment for you during a time when things are tough for everybody. So fantastic. Let's go around and tell everyone who we've been, where you can find us, if we have any projects coming up in the immediate future. We will be rating Scraticus Academy after this, so once we do our outros, stick around for some more great role-playing content over there. Let's start with Rue.
Hello everyone, I'm Rue. I play Adya, and you can find me on the internets, Cherry Drop on Twitter. Just, I don't know, retweeting stuff mostly.
Fantastic. We got Viditya.
Hi, yeah, I'm Viditya. You can find me on Twitter down there at Viditya Valetti. I make games, and some of them are currently in bundles. Well, actually, so the big itch bundle ended like a day or two ago, but I'm still a part of some other bundles. I'm actually just gonna do myself a favor and link my my itch page,
There you
but
go.
feel free to browse my stuff. But if you see anything that has in a bundle, go check them out. Anything there is going towards Black Lives Matters organizations and stuff like that. Similarly, I've started to weekly stream Thursday evenings ish, and we've been playing a bunch of different games or doing some random stuff. But again, currently I'm streaming to raise for various funds and stuff that are happening. So follow me on Twitter, see what I'm gonna do. Usually I tweet about it. It's a little last minute so far. We're figuring it out. It's fine. But it's for good causes, and it's usually fun.
Can attest. We got Alex.
Hey there. You can find me on Twitter at a fractal dragon, and my games there are at fractaldragon.itch.io. If you bought the big itch bundle recently, then you already have Dragon Hearts, and if you don't, then you could go get it. It's pretty fun. Got to see our tiny preview of one of the games in it today, which was fun to do.
It is very good. We got JR.
Hey, I'm JR. You can find me at Twitter below. You can also find the RPG articles I write over at thebelloflostsouls.net. You can also find I'm part of a Kickstarter coming up for a role-playing game called Monster Care Squad, which is like Monster Hunter World and Shadow of the Colossus, but what if you loved all the big animals and helped them out instead? You can sign up for the Get Notified page right here and get more info. That's coming next month.
Very exciting. Looking forward to seeing more about that. And last but not least, we got Kevin.
Hey, I'm Kevin. You can find me online at _Knack to go unfollow me at all the places. And I run stream games. I made a game that has been said to be, quotes, a bit short. If you want to see a game that's a bit short, check out Close Fists on itch.io. Or if you'd like to see an adventure that was much longer than it should have been, check out Unbreakable Volume 1 over on Drive-Thru RPG. Best-selling product. It's an Our Own Voices project. Asian adventures by Asian writers and Asian illustrators. Like, real good work. Check out Unbreakable on Drive-Thru RPG.
Hell
So
yeah.
good.
It's an
It's
excellent
so good.
compilation. And I am Simon. I have been the Game Master. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. I've done some rebranding. You can buy my games at itch.io. Sorry, colorspraygames.itch.io. Goblin Cave, welcome. We're doing our outros. This has been a great game. It fucking popped off. It's amazing. You should go back and watch the VOD when we're done.
You should.
But yes, what was I saying? Colorspraygames.itch.io. If you bought the bundle for racial equity and justice on itch, you have Goblins in Shadow, which is a game I wrote about goblins fighting their elven oppressors in a clockpunk city of smoke and shadows. That's inspired by Styx, Master of Shadows, and Assassin's Creed. I am a streamer. You can find me here, obviously, here every week. Tomorrow, Thursdays, Scraticus Academy at 2:30. The finale of Secrets of Duskfall, or Blades in the Dark game, is at 2:30 Eastern. So don't miss out on that. That's going to be extremely dramatic, I'm sure. I am a player on PWN Live, which is a worldwide wrestling RPG playthrough at 3 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/allnerdshere. So go check that out. Then on Sundays at 8, right after that, Eastern, I'm on a show called Erewhen here on Welcome to the Party. It is a Numenera homebrew world strongly inspired by Skyward Sword. We learned a lot about the world last time. It's beautiful world building. Angela always talks about food during the games. So if you like some wholesome adventuring with really interesting fantasy, go check that out. I'm also a professional GM for Magpie Games curated play program, magpiegames.com/curated-play. If you want to pay a couple of bucks and play a game of Masks or Bluebeard's Bride or Zombie World with me, go check it out. And I'm also a voice actor. If my voice has been a little sore this whole session, it's because I had a rehearsal this afternoon. And the character's voice I'm doing is pretty rough on my throat. But it is a queer sci-fi and fantasy audio drama. There's two big storylines if you like neo-noir sci-fi about bisexual, non-binary detectives on Mars, or if you like swashbuckling fantasy that feels like a Saturday morning cartoon. You've got two great tastes that taste great together. That's the Penumbra Pod on Twitter, thepenumbrapodcast.com. Once again, thank you all for joining us, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Black Lives Matter.
Black
Fuck
Lives
Tell your
cops.
Matter.
friends.
Trans Lives Matter.
Then we have the 5 seconds of waiting.